or maging 1-1 ba to? And next and readying up for a third game.
So, Sir
Naku,
C,
naglalag din ang aming cast.
naglalag din daw yung stream namin. I-refresh nyo lang, guys. Kasi nagkakaproblema dito si
Tignan mo
Rogers
natin ang
Arena.
item nila, Yeman. BKB na si Ame and Yasha going for Manta. Pwede BKB na din si Somnus. Ang bilis.
Puro BKB. Kailangan
Puro
din
BKB.
talaga nila kasi apat yung magic ng
Boss 4
EG.
tong dalawang to. Tapos, ay boss 5. Boss 6 rather. Pero walang pang nangyari dito. So, let's go back.
Si Sumela, kinancel niya na lang yung Radiant spill niya.
Oo.
And para
Yan
mag-go na
na-cancel.
lang siya sa Heart of Taras.
Heart of Taras. Sustainability na lang. Ako, may na X-Mark si... Oh, na-disjoin
Oh
niya.
my God!
Galing!
Crit! Delikado! Crit! Unang mamamatay para sa Team EG pero nag-buyback siya agad. Nandito sila RTZ. Nag-blackmail. Si Raking dito. May reincarnation dyan. Nandun yung chaotic offering plus terrorize. At mukhang mamamatay. Ang dalawa sa EG plus wala pang buyback.
Ang sakit
Ang
ng
Rubik na ko. Oh my God! EG! EG! Apat na wala. Team wipe.
Pero may 3 buybacks ha. Kaya, hindi pa to. 40 seconds. Kaya pa yan.
Ako, uuwi na ba ang EG dito? 2-0 ba to?
Kaya pa yan.
Halak
May buyback yung tatlo. Kaso,
merong buyback
ang
inspector
sakit
pero
na
wala
ng
siyang hand.
heroes.
Nako!
Oh my
Rage
God.
dieback! Delikadong mga kuya nyo dito.
In 17 seconds, 16 seconds, 15 seconds, ang Mirana mabuhay na at ang Spectre in 15 seconds and si Sumail 9 seconds, mabuhay na kaya. Pero yung kanilang bottom, ipag-mega sila, hindi pa naman sila ang tier 1 tower.
Pero dalawang rocks na yung nagiba dito.
Ang top at saka ang mid, wala na, GG na. Ako po, Sumail, anong gawin mo dyan?
Oh my God, EG! Disastrous place.
It's a disaster.
Kaling sa evil
Ba't nandun si
geniuses.
Mirana?
Oh my God,
CS4.
pagdating na, yun lang talaga yung susi ng LGD, yung mga BKB nila para pumalag sa EG.
Tamon, stagnant masyado kanyang Manta style. Kanina pa yan nasa stash na. Pero
Nako.
sana mabawi pa to nila. Kasi kapag last clash na lang siguro, baka ma-GG na to.
Wala pa namang buyback yung iba sa EG.
Kay Kuya Christian,
Nagkakaproblema kasi dito sa boot namin yung connection.
opo.
Oo, nantitrip talaga. Na-timingan pa talaga na ngayon nagloko. Baka na PLDC tayo dito sa Vancouver.
News lang patay si Roshan. Correct daw, correct.
May ages pa.
Uy, baka mag-GG push na to kasi ang layo pa ng daanan nila para ma-mega ang tier hanggang tier 3.
Ako, EG. Uuwi na ba yung EG, guys? Or papalag pa sila dito? Tingnan natin
So,
kasi
palagay nyo guys, paano to para makambak ang EG?
yes, sobrang tagilid talaga sila. Kahit 5-on-5 clash. Luging-lugi. Ang lakas nung Necropos.
Sakit din yung Tidebringer ni
Kunka.
ni Somnus.
Oo. Ayan, napakayaman.
Nakasulcuras na pala.
Ang ginagawa kasi nila Ate Pouch is inapaabante nila una yung eto. Maganda yon kasi nga meron sa reincarnation. Tapos ibibit nila si Rating gamit eto, andun yung chaotic offering.
Chaotic.
Tapos meron pang barko.
Ilang times na
na?
natin nakita si Chalice, siya yung pinofocus ng EG. Sabay lang castong si Warlock ng ulti niya. Sabay upheaval, no? Yun nga problema nila eh. Uy, magtupo siya sa tier 1. Pero yung nangyari kasi sa OG, I think, was that LGD versus OG. Kasi ang nangyari dun, masyadong nagpo-focus din sila sa heroes, hindi naman pinocus yung show. Kaya ang nangyari, nakambak yung OG. Sa consecutive buybacks, napitas nila isa-isa yung heroes ng LGD.
Yes, pero tingin ko hindi
Ganun ba
gagawin yun ng
nangyari?
LGD.
So,
Naku, atas si Sumail. Mamataan dito pero nandun yung Moonlight Shadow.
Oo, hindi na tuloy.
Parang gusto pumalag ng Evil Geniuses dito. Pero ang hirap kasi tingnan mo naman, item pa lang. Sobrang gap na nila eh. Ayun, talo na naman. Sobrang tapang ni Chalice. Tumatalon talaga kasi nga merong reincarnation. Sumail!
Ang
Walang buyback!
Pero ang
Chain Frost, ayun, ikakait lang nila. Chaotic offering sa likod.
Hala, si Sarsuro!
Pero may buyback siya, pero walang hunt. Naku! Walang buyback kung Mirana. GG na ba to? Evil Geniuses. Geniuses! Naku, napaka-geniuses na tuloy. Naku, natitrigger yung pagkabisaya. Oh my God! Anong nangyayari?
Si
Evil
Fly,
Geniuses!
wala na. Nako, wala nang
Tatlo yung walang
lahat.
apat! GG!
LGD is doing it! Guys!
EG! Uuwi yung EG,
Sino
guys!
ba nag-bet sa EG? I can't believe what we're seeing. What just happened? What just
Sabi ko
happened?
na nga pa eh. LGD talaga.
Underfarmed ata ang EG.
Sobrang uhaw ng LGD.
Kanina pa sila nagagang yung Spectre, especially si RTZ, no? Kanina pa hinahanap nung Kungka at ni Chalice.
Yes. Saka,
Woo!
ay.
Oh, what happened? It's so sad for EG, but congratulations pa rin to Team EG kasi they managed to get this far.
Yep.
Woo! What happened?
Ano lang talaga. Sobrang na...
Outfarmed?
And na-shutdown nila yung
Spectre.
Oo. Tulad ng ginawa nila sa Alchemist kanina.
Kahit
Parang alam na talaga ng LGD yung laro ng EG. Yun lang para sa akin. Alam na nila yung gagawin nila kung paano i-shutdown yung Evil Geniuses. So naging successful sila doon, Ate Pauchi, no?
Oo.
Then ayun, ano bang masasabi mo sa
Parang
game?
na-shutdown lang din talaga yung Spectre kasi parang yung kanilang heroes masyadong reliable sa Spectre. Wala sila masyadong damage eh. Katulad nung, sino ba yung heroes nila? Si Sumail, nag-Necrophos, di ba? Tapos,
Okay
may
naman
Lich
siya.
pa. Okay lang
Okay
naman.
naman si Sumail. Kaso, hindi talaga nadala eh. Shutdown talaga yung Spectre.
Mas
Lugi.
masakit din yung damage nung Tidebringer. At
Yes.
yung si Willow din, yung kanyang mga disables. Wala talagang nakakapitas doon.
Tingin ko
EG.
balance lang yun yung early game. Kasi, nalugi yung Luna sa baba. Nakataba si S4. Tapos yung sa top, nalugi si Spectre. Nakataba yung Raid King ng LGD. Pero mas maganda pa rin yung hero ng LGD talaga din. Kasi yung Raid King, nakuha niya yung mga ideal na mga item niya na pang tank. And utility, nandun yung pipe.
Utility, yung
Plus yung
pipe.
Spirit Vessel.
May dagger na rin, no?
Yung ginagawa ni Chalice, sobrang ganda. Kasi siya talaga yung nagpa-frontline. Talagang dagger in agad. Pag merong mga ulti lahat ng hero ng LGD.
Marunong siya mag-utilize na kayang reincarnation. Parang naubos lahat ng skill nila kay Chalice. Pero yun pala, may reincarnation pa pala siya. By then, wala na. Tsaka, ang galing ng timing ni Somnus na kanyang X-Mark sa Ghost Ship at Torrent. Naku, talaga. Hindi nakabawi si RTZ. Sige na lang.
Congratulations para sa Team LGD.
LGD.
Kasi sila na yung maglalaban sa Grand Finals.
Against OG
versus LGD Grand Finals. Abangan natin mamaya-maya. So,
congrats din sa EG. It's still a good fight. Wala naman sila.
Nakabot sila sa
semifinals. You call it
Tsaka,
semifinals?
konti lang din yung yung time ng EG talaga para mag-practice. Parang kaka-change lang din nila ng roster. Siguro next year babawi sila. Okay naman yung lineup nila eh. Kasi siguro practice lang muna sila.
Malakas pa rin naman ang EG.
Oo, sobrang lakas naman talaga ng mga players. Nasa strategy nila talaga and ayun.
Yeah, excited na ko mamaya sa Grand Finals between OG and LGD. Will it be Asian year ba ngayon? Or
kung tama ba yung yung mga predictions ng mga tao. Kung magcha-champion ba ngayon Chinese or magbe-break yun.
May pattern nga eh.
Direct anong oras ba yung laro mamaya? 5 AM sa Pilipinas? Okay, sige guys, balik kami. Mamaya 5 AM. Pero depende pa yan. Abang-abang lang kayo sa Ncgc Esports na page para ma-notify namin kayo kung magla-livestream na kami. And hello sa mga tropa namin dyan. Abangan natin yung finals mamaya. Pero eto, parang i-interviewin mo na tropa natin dyan sa labas, sa lobby, si Chalice. Ayan, ipapasa muna namin kila Casey ang mikropono.
的复仇战嘛，有没有在小组赛准备了一些事情，就是之前学到的要带进这场总决赛呢？
其实我也不是很清楚啊，昨天他们商量战术跟讨论 BP 的时候，我一不小心睡着了。
Actually, I don't really know. When they talked about strategies yesterday, I fell asleep.
Well, it's working for you. So I would say keep sleeping. Congratulations, and we will see you in the grand finals.
非常恭喜，然后我们也会在总决赛见到你。
谢谢。
Back to you guys.
Thank you, Casey, and thank you, Chalice. Of course, now has to go get ready for another match, but let's focus on the match that was just played on stage. We talked a little bit about the new picks coming out, and then on the other end as well, I mean, Evil Geniuses, they seemed to adapt a bit as they were going through the lower bracket, but it faltered off as they tried to take the Spectre themselves in the second game.
Yeah, I want to go to what Sin mentioned earlier, like rediscovering the heroes, and there's something that I feel that has in common between the heroes that picked in the last 2 games. They have been focusing more on team fight. I mean, we've been through this discussion before that teams have understood how to play the laning phase, so it becomes less important to pick like a very strong dominating laner when you understood how to play the lanes, and so you can go for maybe more team fights. You draw the lanes, maybe you go 50-50, but because you have better team fight later on, you're going to be able to control the later parts of the game.
Yeah, March, this is something we talked a lot about in terms of the kind of growing differences in meta between the upper bracket, lower bracket, and particularly the focus on the laning phase. What is your take now that obviously the brackets have finalized into a grand final? What was that last match? Was that a mix between the two, or would you say it was PSG.LGD showing just which meta was superior?
Talking about the meta, I feel like also the roles in the offlane is changing a bit, where before you would put him on the more like a carry position, even if it's an offlaner. But from what I've seen, the successful teams such as OG and this LGD is that last game, Race King was playing like a carry, but he was going for the upgraded urn, which was very impactful in the mid game against the heroes like Necrophos. On the other hand, where Seth played Enigma, I'm not exactly sure which team he was playing against, but he went like Vanguard, Crimson Guard, Pipe, and all these kind of tanky items for the mid game team fight. So I feel like it's kind of changing back to past few months ago, where offlaners would just lane and get a lot of team fight items, to where this position 1 and 2 can shine more.
All right, well, Sin, EG, obviously still a great run, although it falls just short of another finals for them. I mean, is this a result that you think a lot of people expected from EG, or is it well above expectations?
I think it's really hard to say, right? They look great toward the end of the NA qualifiers. They go into this tournament. They have an excellent group stage. I think after the group stage, expectations definitely rose. Going into the tournament, you say, is EG going to get top 3? I think a lot of people would have said, no, they will not do this. After the group stage, it seemed relatively likely that they could place this high. So I think it's a great result for them. I would guess overall they're pretty satisfied with this as well, given how the short time frame and everything. So yeah, I think, you know, just getting high placements at TI, whether it's top 3, top 4. I think there's very few teams that are going into TI and they're like, we're so disappointed we didn't get first or second. Like, this tournament is extremely difficult, and top 3 is a great result.
Yeah, obviously there are emotions in the moment, but still, nonetheless, a top 3 result. Well, we'll have a chance to hear from Evil Geniuses themselves as Machine waits with one of the players.
Well, I'm not Machine, but I have got Fly with me, who is, of course, the star here. Fly, can you talk to me about what it was like for you going into this series?
I think we felt pretty okay going into the series. We played LGD in the group stage. We didn't really overthink anything. We just wanted to do what we did to get us this far. But, you know, they were better today, so.
You haven't been together for that long. And, of course, you don't feel like it right now, but coming top 3 after being together for such a short time is quite an accomplishment. What do you think allowed you to rise and grow as fast as you did?
I think everybody on the team is really talented, and we just had pretty good synergy and chemistry as soon as we joined the team. So it's definitely like a good group of people, and we all feel pretty good about each other. So,
what's the future for you?
It's hard to say after you just lose. So, you know, you take some time, you talk to people you need to talk, and then you see what happens.
You've got a lot of fans here in Vancouver. I'm just gonna give you the microphone, and this is your time.
Just thanks to everybody cheering during the matches today and throughout the whole week. You guys really, you know, make us feel very proud and honored to represent whatever country, NA, anything, you know. Shout out to LGD for playing such a good game. Good luck to you guys as well. So thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much, Fly. That applause is definitely yours. Back to the desk.
Thank you, Shiver, and thank you, Fly, for taking the time. So that wraps up Evo Genius's run in that last match as they stood up against PSG.LGD. Do we now then look at the match in hindsight and say, this is PSG.LGD just showing us what they're made of and how ready they are for the grand finals?
I mean, it shows a lot about their preparation. The coach, QQQ, behind like the 5 players, I think he's done a really, really awesome job bringing them up, like putting the play style together, drafting for the team. Like, I think he's the unsung hero for LGD so far.
Yeah, I mean, the coaches, that's something that we focused a lot on, right, as we hear about their preparation. Hours and hours of mock drafts. Now, obviously, PSG.LGD, do you think, Cinderin, that they've had enough time to prepare as they've watched, obviously, OG grow throughout the tournament as well?
Yeah, I think so. And I think I had a conversation the other night about who ended up winning TI from upper and lower bracket, and I think it's about 50-50. So there's no, like, historically there isn't a clear advantage from coming from the top or the bottom. It really depends which team is just stronger in the given tournament. I would say when you look across the span of this and the entirety of the tournament from start to finish, LGD has looked more consistent. They had a better group stage than OG, but OG just caught that sick momentum in the upper bracket. And now when you get to the final day and it's these best of 5s, momentum is great, but you need to win 3 games. Right. And I think LGD in this last series, they just looked really, really good, and I would consider them the favorites based on that.
I also agree with Cinderin where I favor LGD more in the grand finals because I feel that they have more of teamwork and their basis is good where they're really fast at adapting. And then I'm sure they have learned from OG the games where they played in the upper bracket, so I'm looking forward to the LGD in the grand finals.
All right, so PSG.LGD moves on. Of course, unfortunately, a lot of Evo Geniuses fans out here and a lot of fans of those individual players as well. Their story ends right here in that 3rd place. But, I mean, let's kind of review their run. We talked about it during that interview with Shiver as well. Hasn't been a full roster for a long time in that formation. I mean, Winter, this has to be impressive, right, for them to grow as a team and go this far in TI.
I mean, it's for sure it's impressive, but at the end of the day, they're still going to be disappointed they couldn't, go beyond. They do show a lot of like improvements compared to like the last 2 months where they just formed. Huge improvements in draft, huge improvements in teamwork, chemistry. I think it's certainly something to be proud of, like what they've done so far as a team.
Yeah, of course, Finest for joining in and being able to kind of upgrade this team as a whole. But then on the other side, Arteezy and Sumail, 2 players who have always stood out as individual names. And I mean, they still performed as individual players. They've put up the numbers that they've always kind of been expected to.
Yeah, I don't think there was any particular reason EG lost from any individual standpoint. I think everybody did their job. They all played well. But you get to the end of this tournament and all the other teams will be on a similar level. So maybe if one day you're playing 90% or you're drafting 90%, sometimes 90% is not enough anymore when usually during the groups, you can maybe play a little bit worse. And it's okay because you have just a skill edge or an experience edge, but these other teams that they've been facing toward the end, you got to be on your 100% on your A game.
I mean, that's why that the people around the team, the staff, the coaches, the analysts behind the team, this is the moments where they get to shine. They have to help the players deal with the pressure, do as much prep for them, like each individually. I think that's something that we should pay attention more in the future.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that a lot with Bulba as well, right? Just kind of the lightheartedness that he was able to bring even in the middle of a match, and then, of course, celebrating with the players yesterday after their victory. March, we got to watch a lot of Evo Geniuses on this panel as we've covered the later part of the days. But what's your thoughts on their growth? I mean, it was definitely visible as they went through TI.
Definitely they have grown a lot, and then, like you mentioned, they've been together for only 2 months. And from the matches where they look dominant in the laning phase, but kind of weaker towards the mid and late game, I feel like they had a weaker teamwork compared to some other top teams here. And then I'm kind of scared to see them later on. If they stick together and keep building their teamworks and more, like how scary this team can be next year maybe.
Yeah, again, not that much time as this squad. But EG now out of TI. Only 2 teams remain. And, of course, right now all attention is on PSG.LGD. They just won that match 2-0, not allowing EG to put up much of a fight. They're going up against OG, obviously a heated match between the 2 teams prior in the tournament. This rematch, do you think it's still going to be pretty even, Sin?
I think there's There's one of two things will happen, in my opinion. I think the most likely outcome is that the games will be relatively close, but I give LGD the edge. But the other one is, you know, it's the grand finals. How well prepared are you? LGD are warmed up. They're coming in hot. So I would say most likely outcome for me is probably LGD winning by maybe 3-1 or 3-2. But it could also, you know, I've been very wrong about some things earlier in this when you predict. It's so hard to tell, really. If you asked me a week ago, is OG going to be in the finals? I would never have placed them there. So, you know, they've been super impressive. Both teams, so much momentum, and I can't wait to see the games. I feel like you just don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah, I mean, I think the match between these two teams was one of the most exciting ones that we've seen at this TI so far, and there's definitely a lot of expectations from fans on both sides to really look forward. Well, right now, of course, tons of fans were in the arena for PSG.LGD and Evil Geniuses, and Slacks is out there with some of them to take their take on the last match.
Hey, Chobra, how you doing, buddy? Everybody is coming back in the arena right now to see this grand final game. Sir, what are you hoping to see in the grand finals?
LGD #1.
We're getting a lot of that here today. Gentlemen, what's your name?
My name's Brandon.
Brandon, how are we feeling for the grand finals, sir?
I feel pretty good. I'm going for OG. Think they're going to win. They better win.
They better win? What does that mean?
Oh, I don't know.
It's kind of threatening, bro. Did you guys, anybody have OG or LGD in their compendium? Anybody making some big boy money? Okay. These guys don't care about compendium points anymore. OG, 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 Try to do an interview here. Oh, man. These guys are going insane. Chobra, I'm sorry. I think the times for interviews are over. People just want to see some Dota. Am I right? This is all we got for you, buddy.
Thank you, Slacks. I mean, fans on both sides, the OG fans trying to strike back against the PSG.LGD fans. Well, it's good to see that everyone's really excited because I think, you know, you look at the two teams, first of all, like you mentioned, Sin, a little surprising to see OG in this matchup, so that's exciting. And then we've seen them play before, Winter, and that match was spectacular.
I hope we get to see a lot of different heroes. We saw the Wraith King support, and just now we saw the Luna being back into the scene again. I just can't wait to see more different heroes. I know these two teams are going to bust out something that we've never seen before.
Yeah, I sure hope so, right? And OG, March, we talked about their hero pool kind of being unique, and maybe this is a time for that to really shine against a PSG.LGD who's starting to hint at some new heroes themselves.
Yeah, especially when OG is waiting in the grand finals, and I've been mentioned before where these teams put a lot of efforts preparing like what they want to use in the grand finals. So I can expect a lot of new different strategy from OG with different heroes. So I'm super excited for that.
Gentlemen, let's focus on OG a little bit, right? The ones who have been waiting in the grand finals. This is, in and of itself, already a miracle story. I mean, this squad, the individual players themselves have some stories to tell about reaching a grand finals, but then as a team, right, kind of left in shatters, and then they come back, and now they're top two. I mean, the story could end here, and it could be a fairy tale.
I think that it could have been a fairy tale yesterday as well, and arguably maybe even the day before. Like, it's just, I think this team is just so happy that the impression that you get when you see their player interviews after matches between, like, they're just super happy to play together. They're super happy to be on the stage, and they just enjoy every game. And when you have that kind of mentality that you're just in there and you're in the zone and everything is fantastic, the communication is just on point. They're not scared of doing something creative, and because they feel like they have nothing to lose, right? So in a way, maybe there's more of a pressure on LGD in a sense because they're more expected to deliver on this level. OG can do whatever they want.
That's true. Well, we've talked a little bit, hinted about the story of OG. Let's take a quick look at their tour here at the International.
Without an invite to the tournament, OG underwent a roster shuffle that saw 2 new players join the team. It meant a grueling path through the open qualifiers to even reach the International.
They've already taken the fight against OG, now they come back with a 3-man surprise! OG, what did you expect?
expect out of them? At first, they struggled in the group stage, but a 6-2 final run helped secure a 9-7 fourth place finish and a trip to the upper bracket. On the main stage, Group B winners BGJ Storm were ready. They drew first blood and kept on rolling. But riding the play of the newly returned Ana, OG weathered the unrelenting pressure. In a sudden reversal, they obliterated BGJ Storm to take Game 1.
Position to get themselves some of these objectives. There's no buyback on 3 of these heroes. And OG streaming forward. Ana going to take away the barracks.
OG lead by a game to 0.
Game 2 began in OG's favor, and with another big showing from Ana, they held that momentum, taking the game in a 2-0 series.
They turn on Lorenzo, get the bash, find the kill. MSS also in trouble. It's all of BGJ Storm ball.
Next up, it was a grudge match versus Evil Geniuses. The series started with a bang by Thompson's Invoker.
Thompson goes forward for now. Jarex jumps forward. The Fisher, the cold snap, the Spirit Vessel, he just does so much. Thompson finds the double kill.
Game 2 also looked like OG's to win as they opened a lead with an aggressive lineup. But EG showed classic TI resilience to spoil the sweep.
Quick gets the kill. No doubt that is one of Jarex. EG Hall.
We have a series on our hands, tied 1-1 between these two teams.
In the final game, EG tried to smash OG's defenses, which bent but did not break.
OG now feel like they can maybe try and take this fight, but Somali's in. Taken out with a homing missile. They'll get RTZ. Can they get anything more? They're able to find Scarly. They're able to find Fly. The buyback hard from Ana.
Oh, boys, I think we did it. I think we fucking
Ana's clutch buyback haunt wiped out the enemy and earned OG a spot in the upper bracket finals. OG took on PSG.LGD with a spot in the grand final at stake. OG and Thompson erased PSG.LGD's high ground defenses to take a 1-game lead. But PSG.LGD turned to Somnus's superstar Storm Spirit in the second match to force a Game 3.
And White, maybe take it back. He actually goes down the deep inside the face. Somnus is looking to end this.
In the final clash, Ame's Terrorblade was monstrous, and in a buyback-fueled push, PSG.LGD threw all their heroes at the OG throne.
There's your slam. There's the dunk. There's the play. Jarex, the savior of OG.
With the help of Jarex's Earthshaker, OG barely held on, storming across the map on a victory push of their own.
LGD have nothing left. OG have done it. It goes the distance. It goes to 3.
Massive underdogs at the start of the tournament, OG have crushed all the favorites, riding high on their way to the grand final.
There we have it, the miracle run by OG as they now await the grand finals against PSG.LGD. There's so much we can say about the hype around this matchup, Winter.
Yeah, the improvements as well, like the wide variety of heroes that they've been picking. They show no fear. They lose one game, they just come back the next game, they pick something else. And they've been the only team that has been picking Outwarden and this Quasvex Invoker. They're just like amazing to watch.
Yeah, I mean, OG has continued to face adversity, and they've overcome it every time. And, you know, we look at the matches and we say, well, it looks like they should be broken down at this point. And then they come back, and not just stronger, but perhaps a little more lighthearted and able to take the match in stride, March.
I've seen an interview where No-Tail said, like, Thompson was one of the ones saying, like, don't worry, we can win lane game when he was playing Arc Warden. And he's the first-time TI player here, and he's doing that for this, like, experienced players. maybe he's like born to play well.
Yeah, I mean, Thompson, of course, the spotlight here for OG. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have a chance to hear from some other great minds as well as Shiva awaits with Puppy and Yapsor.
Yes, thank you very much, Trova. Indeed, here with Puppy and Yapsor. Yes, thank you. And we're gonna use the whole panel area for this one because we got Machine and BSJ on the other side as well that we're gonna rope in at some point. First, welcome to the panel area, Yapsor, Puppy.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
So it's gonna be OG/LGD, and I would just want to hear from you guys first what you think about this grand finals, Yapsor.
I personally think the team that gets Earthshaker will win.
Okay.
Pretty much. Like right now, FY and Jarex are two of the most incredible position fours right now, especially with on Earthshaker. We've seen what they can do. So I'm going to be looking for that hero.
Yeah? How about you, Puppy?
Well, I've been watching OG and LGD games a lot, and they really, truly play some awesome Dota. So I'm just ready.
Yeah. Machine, how are you doing over there?
I'm good. Hello!
Hey.
I'm good. I mean, something that I really am intrigued about, and BSJ is joining me as well to talk about this one, is I've had Kuroki say it, I've had a couple of players, I've heard people in the green room say at BSJ that OG are kind of not accepting the meta, they're doing it themselves, and it's about adapting or dying. You know, like you have to adapt throughout TI.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm very intrigued by this.
Yeah,
I mean, what is it that makes their game different to everyone else's?
I feel like they have the confidence to do what they know is best. Like, it's something where you're not going with the norm because you're like, I've played thousands of games of Dota. I've tried this before. I'm way better at this than anybody else is. Like, they don't know this hero or this strategy as well as I do.
Sure.
And that just leads to them out-executing on heroes that people aren't used to playing against. People are unfamiliar with it. If you haven't seen a certain strat before, even if you're a professional level player, that's a lot about like understanding that level of Dota is being prepared for what to expect.
And if you haven't seen, you know, a particular play or a particular strat, but you haven't seen a particular player as well, this Thompson story has got me just tingling. It's so ridiculous. He's earned over $3,000 in his professional career. He's sitting there streaming. Puppy, I think you know Thompson, right?
Yeah.
And basically, like, they hang out, they see him. He's on TI Grand Finals. It's so ridiculous. He's got 3K in his bank account, and he's stepping into TI playing for 11 million. It's just absurd.
Yeah, he's just a maniac. I've honestly played a few pubs against him, and like he'll win his lane, and all of a sudden all 3 lanes are dead within like the next 5 minutes, and you're just like, where's this guy coming from? He's playing all these heroes you never see, and you're like, they say no fear, but this guy's just got the confidence to do whatever.
Does it make sense, you know, over with you boys from Secret? Like, how is someone stepping onto their first TI and looking? I mean, he's tipping people while he's life draining them.
Yeah, I mean, he's very used to that stuff. That's his game.
That's his style.
That's his style, to destroy pub games, and he just kind of came into TI and destroyed pub games, basically.
Does the tipping actually affect
mean,
players, you think?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Not really necessarily. Overall, we do mute like Virtus Pro and stuff because necessary. Just necessary. But it's not really an issue. It's mostly for fun. Tipping is like more natural, but the noise itself, like from the shoutcasting and whatnot, chat wheel stuff, is pretty usually annoying if you're trying to focus.
Do you mute your enemy players?
Super mute.
Super mute.
Yeah. Double
Mute it.
mute.
Double mute.
Everything.
Everything.
So we are the only ones to hear the chat wheel.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is all right. And it's totally fun. But just for us, we need to focus rather than hear that.
OG/LGD, I think both teams have taken a very different route to get here. I mean, not just this tournament, but I think over the whole year. Yapsor, OG in the grand finals. Were you expecting that?
I don't think anybody was,
No,
really.
right.
There's no way. It's just like you have a coach that became a player. You have No-Tail who swapped roles and became captain. You have Anna that came back, and now you have this new pub player that's like completely... He's not your ordinary pub player like Thompson. He's very obnoxious. He's a weirdo. He's a very weird player. Like,
but that's being obnoxious in Dota is a good thing, right?
sometimes, most of the time, yes.
Most of the time.
It's like usually like LGD. You see this team, these monsters, and like you know that nobody can beat them at what they do right now. It's like you can't beat them with normal Dota. But you throw in some weird Thompson in the mix, and it gets weird, you know. It's like his heroes, his item builds, and it's like what kind of mid player buys Meteor Hammer on Invoker and plays Pugna on Monkey King? Like what's going on, you know?
Yeah.
It's like it's not your classic Invoker, Aghanims destroying the game. It's not your classic Shadow Fiends and Pucks or Quops, you know? It's like he's playing Pugnan Monkey King and Invoker Meteor Hammer. It's like, what's going on?
Is he the reason why OG works? Why this iteration of OG works?
One of the reasons.
One of the reasons.
Yeah.
It's truly funny though when you know, we saw Sebastian become from coach to a player. He literally is in a booth, and I could still see him being a coach at the same time. He's just, you know, papers flying and stuff. You know, the same things happening.
That's an unfair advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have 2 coaches, man.
Yeah, they have 2 coaches. Like their coach, like he does the draft and everything. He puts the papers away and starts playing. That's not fair.
So when are we going to see Sunby replace someone? Because if that is an advantage.
I don't know about that one.
Let's talk about LGD for a little bit, because LGD obviously a team that I think before TI everybody was expecting to see them in the grand finals already.
Well, Chinese year though.
Chinese year.
Yeah, now it's time to see if the curse is real or the curse has been lifted.
Well, I think for most of the people in the audience, definitely for the loudest people in the audience, they hope that the curse is real. Chinese year.
Yeah. I mean, is it really a curse?
At the moment, for Chinese fans, no. But at the moment, for OG fans, yeah.
True.
So there's that.
Yeah.
Why do you think LGD is as good as they are? What makes them special? I mean, that's a tough one, right?
You probably want to point out, like Solo said.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of, you know, talking that players have, and one of the things like Solo talked about was when they watched the replay when they lost against LGD, they're like, how many mistakes they actually made. In 2 games, 1. Like small mistakes, like not picking up something
missing
correctly,
spells, all of that, that's okay.
That's
like,
not really truly like strategical mistakes, but like in game, only 1. That's
in one entire series.
Yeah, one entire series, and that's
against Virtus Pro.
Yeah, that's dangerous. That means that you guys are on point, playing really well, and yeah, they do have players that are just very capable.
I think mistakes make watching Dota fun when players make mistakes.
But what I find so interesting about that is this is a team you've just said made 1 mistake in a series versus Virtus Pro, and yet they don't really know who the captain is. Like, you know, that's twice we've seen them say, oh yeah, I don't really know who the captain is. Oh yeah, he's a captain because he has the crown, but he doesn't really talk much. We take it in turns. That baffles me. I always feel like a hierarchy in a competitive environment makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like their strategies are just. Kyle said it's like painting a picture. You know, you don't really understand it until it all comes into fruition. But like that last draft I use as an example, they first pick the Spectre, and you think, what beats Spectre? And you're like, okay, we're going to pick a hero that farms faster than her, and then we just have to make sure we can survive Haunt. So they pick Kunkka Boat for the sustain, Wraith King, they have Warlock, and it's just like you see this, and not only is like the whole game plan constructed that like it's easy to see after, but they're doing it during. And then all these players also understand that. So even if you don't have a distinguished captain or like somebody who is on the hierarchy, if everyone's on the same page, it just doesn't matter. Like, it explains why they're not making mistakes when their strategies are so like thoroughly thought out.
Yeah. Have you put much thought into that, Puppy? As in, like, I mean, you've always kind of played in teams with a clear leadership.
I think there's always dominance in a team regardless.
Yeah.
If I would have to choose somebody from LGD and tell him like this guy's the main guy, it's maybe. And he just gives that power, in my opinion, from his plays, the way he does things, and you know, he looks the dominant LGD player, and everybody else kind of starts, you know, coming in with their pitching ideas and stuff. There's still something that is hierarchy.
It's like a democracy almost. I think this has been a lot of fun. I've been told to go ahead and give it back to the main man on the panel. So thank you so much, gentlemen. Shiva as well.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you to everyone who joined us. It was great to listen to you guys on either side, kind of giving your opinions back and forth. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting ready for the grand final. But in the meantime, we had some people here on the panel, but Casey's out there with some fans to hear their reactions.
Yes. Yes! We've been practicing. What did you think of that last series?
That last game went by way too quickly. I'm here to see Dota, and I'm disappointed when I see 2-0 stomps.
You want all the games.
I want all the games. I want 7 games. More items, more time in this arena watching Dota.
We want more! All right, you guys, we were talking earlier. Who do you want to win the grand final?
I think I want OG win-win.
I'm disappointed that EG is out, but I'm rooting for LGD now.
Oh, LGD. What about you guys? What? Who are you rooting for? I think I know the answer. Go ahead.
LGD!
All right, let's just get a quick poll. How many people here in the bowl want LGD to take the whole thing? And how many people for OG? That's tough. Do you guys think it's going to go to 5 games?
I hope it does.
More Dota.
More Dota. Everyone here wants to see a 3-2 series.
Yeah.
Just like TI3.
Just
TI3. Yeah, 3-2. Nothing's more exciting than a 3-2 series.
Start a 3-2 chant with me.
3-2. 3-2. 3-2. 3-2. 3-2. 3-2. 3-2. 3-2.
I think he'll keep chanting that throughout the whole series if we let him.
My voice is going to die if I try that.
Back to you guys. Chobra, this is going to get nuts. We haven't even started the grand final yet. People are already hyped.
So excited. We hope to hear more of that 3-2 chant. I think that's one thing that fans on either side can get behind, just watching more great Dota. Let's talk about PSG.LGD a bit, right? They just came off of that win, and I think it's interesting what Puppy mentioned is that as the players were reviewing it, PSG.LGD, 1 mistake in 2 games, and that is scary.
Yeah, that's... I don't remember the exact series, but it sounds like the LGD that I've watched in some of their games where, as they point out, and I think that's something that's important for fans to understand when it comes to this, is that the players make mistakes in every game. There's always mistakes. That's what makes the games. That's what makes it exciting. But the big mistakes that you want to avoid are the really big strategic moves where you walk up a bad high ground, you get team wiped, or you contest a Roshan that you can't do, or you go for big team fights when you have 2 ultimates on cooldown or something. You miss a spell here or there, it happens to everybody. But the big decisions, those are the ones that win games, and LGD are almost always on point. They had a mistake against OG yesterday, however, in Game 3, because that last 3rd game that they did end up losing, maybe a bit overzealous trying to go for the Ancient in that situation. So it can even get the better of LGD when the game is tough enough.
I mean, you can call that a mistake, but it's like ultra late game. You're trying to win the game, you know. You're trying to do something that changes the face of the game. So I kind of feel like it's not that fair to call it a mistake, I would say. They're just trying to win the game, and they didn't calculate something. In the end of the day, a buyback or anything. It's not everything is under your control.
It's not an easy decision to make.
Yeah.
But when you do see it, it's easy to be kept in hindsight, right? There's a core in the enemy team without buyback. Maybe you can go for megas instead of trying to end the game. You know, you never know what could have happened, but.
All right, well, thank you for those. Something to look forward to, I think, for LGD. Do they continue on this clean streak? Well, let's take a look back at how they've actually gotten here as they await the grand finals.
PSG.LGD arrived at the International on the strength of a top 3 finish in the Dota Pro circuit. They found little trouble in their group stage.
Could it be a triple rampage? Yes, a triple rampage for Army.
You gotta be kidding me. Taking games off each team, except for a 0-2 set against Evil Geniuses to finish 11-5. 3rd in Group A and good for the upper bracket. On the main stage, their first opponent would be DPC standouts Virtus.Pro, whose success in the world's biggest tournaments made them a team to be feared.
They want Ame here as well. There's no rotations coming.
Oh, good gust there, but might be in a little bit of trouble now as they chase him down further. The toss forward, they throw out the tree, every dang thing. But now there's another black hole. They're slowly going forward for more, and LGD are willingly walking into them.
But despite dropping into an early hole, Somnus and PSG.LGD stood firm.
The only heroes alive are the Enigma and the Bane, and they're calling for the Tier 4 towers.
Stunning Virtus.Pro in Game 1 and making a sudden push for the throne. In Game 2, they maintained the momentum.
The Thunder, it's coming. They've got it. No one in trouble instead yet again. LGD running over the corpses of Virtus.Pro.
Building a massive lead to drop VP into the lower bracket.
And GG is called.
That was an emphatic victory. Look, it says it all in Solo's face. What just happened?
The next challenge would come against defending champions Team Liquid. But PSG.LGD's FY and Somnus weren't about to bow to history, determined instead to create some epic moments of their own.
Challenge, no mana required. I think this one up Burrow's up next. PSG.LGD have effectively wiped Liquid in 2 parts of the match. It is absurd how well this team is playing right now.
Fighting into a flame mill. He's going to try and finish off Somnus. Double kill for Somnus. He is not letting Liquid come back into this game, too.
That was an emphatic statement win, 2-0. They made it look easy every step of the way.
Just like that, PSG.LGD overwhelmed another contender. Facing the only two teams to outperform them in the DPC season, they didn't drop a single game. But in the upper bracket final, PSG.LGD ran headlong into Upstart's OG.
Forward, chasing after Annabelle with a cooldown and the flag cannon. Somnus cannot repel firepower of that magnitude.
Despite spectacular individual performances from Somnus, FY, and Ame, PSG.LGD fell just short in a 3-game series, dropping the set 1-2 and falling from the upper bracket.
LGD have nothing left. OG have done it. It goes the distance. It goes to 3.
But that wouldn't be the end of their story. Facing a determined EG squad in the lower bracket finals, PSG.LGD would not be denied.
This is looking like it's going to be it as Sumeo, last one alive for the team, dead again. And LGD are moving on to the grand finals.
PSG.LGD making it back for the grand finals. A great run. And of course, I mean, both these teams, they've met each other a couple times in TI so far, once in the groups and then in that upper bracket as well. I mean, Winter, PSG.LGD took down both VP and Team Liquid. I mean, that alone is a great feat for them in the upper bracket.
Yeah, definitely. That alone is something that most teams would have dreamed of, like playing the two strongest teams in the DPC season and beating them 2-0 straight. And yeah, they're gonna be in like really, really good form right now, and I just can't wait to see the game start.
Yeah, well, the players are getting ready, but what are they fighting for? In fact, it is the Aegis, and I believe Slacks is right by it right now.
Hello, Chobra. I'm over here by the Aegis with some fans of these different teams. Now this is what it, don't touch that! This is what everybody is looking for right here. The big glory, the most amazing thing in Dota, the symbol of the champions. And we got some fans here that are supporting these teams. So, OG fan, right?
Yes.
What's your name?
Mariana.
All right, Mariana, this is your chance. They're all back there right now watching this broadcast, about to play the grand finals. They want to hear something from their fans to hype them up. Do you have any words of encouragement for Team OG?
Yes. OG already defeated LGD once. They just got it with twice. It's going to be easy breezy. Like,
you already beat them once. You could do it twice. I like it. Very good. Sir, what's your name?
I'm Steven. I am the biggest OG fan. I put them in my compendium 3 months ago before TI started whatsoever. We have the best support players. We have the #1 mid player. Like, you cannot give this guy Invoker. He's amazing. And Seb in the off lane is fantastic. He's grown so much as a player. OG, you guys got this. Nobody can stop you. No tail, slay China, bro. You got it.
Oh, man. That's what I'm talking about. But as my good friend Nahaz would put it, there are two sides to every story. Sir, LGD fan, right?
Yeah, of course.
What's your name?
William.
All right, William, they need to hear it over here. They've come so far. They're the last Chinese team. The crowd loves them. Talk to them. Give them some motivation.
Come on, LGD fans. Shout out, Invincible, 不可战胜的 LGD!
Oh! Very good, sir. That works really well. Sir, who's your favorite player on LGD?
Maybe.
Any words specifically for maybe?
Yeah, maybe. I've been following you for so many years. You are such an amazing player. You can do it this year. Go get it.
Go get it, maybe. Oh, so one more.
Yeah, and I want to take this opportunity to say thanks to all the players and teams who have been here, giving us fantastic fights and performance. You know, being a Dota fan, that means everything. I feel so happy and honored to be here. And shout out to all my homies watching back at home. Dota forever, boys!
Dota forever! That was beautiful. Well done. Okay, we are one last.
The one other guy I forgot to give credit to is their coach. Christian is fantastic, and I know that he's going to be bringing the strats to destroy LGD in the grand finals. Let's get it.
Oh! The crowd is still divided. The boys want the Aegis, but we're going to see who takes it very soon. How are you guys feeling over there, Chobra?
I'm more excited after hearing those fans. It's great to hear the fans so genuinely thrilled about just great Dota. You don't see fans often taking the mic to just thank all the teams and players, but definitely should take a moment before we go into the grand finals. Now, we've talked about the two teams, and I want to bring focus, March, to one thing that came up as we were talking to some of our guests, is that Earthshaker, right? Has been an integral part on both teams in their victories so far.
Yeah, Earthshaker definitely a game-changing hero, and especially I want to mention how the item builds changed. Before, a lot of people would go dagger into like force step or like shadow blade, some kind of different items, and being able to have this Agnes after new founded item, that makes the hero so much stronger. And then versatility in the laning phase, where you can help the mid or secure the off lane, seems like really good value in that hero.
Yeah, Sin, do you agree that you think this is going to be either high contention or maybe even the decision maker in this match?
It's going to be a highly contended hero. It will be first phase picked in multiple games, and it might turn into a ban at some point. We'll see how it goes. Obviously, both teams have ridiculous records on it. I believe, I'm not 100% sure about OG's score on it, but I think LGD are 6-0 with FY playing that hero. Either it's at the main stage or across the whole tournament, so they're very comfortable. And yeah, it's going to be one of the many heroes that will be important.
I mean, do you think it's something to do with the pairing as well? They often pair it with Silencer, which seems like Silencer makes the Earthshaker look really, really good too.
I think LGD also like playing with Enchantress, but it's very good with the Silencer for sure. It just gives you that incredible team fight. You get the jump and you counter the counter-active moves that the enemy team can do, so you like Echo Slam and then Global. Definitely one of the pairings that both teams have played and had great success with, so absolutely.
Yeah, of course, we saw them picking up that Enchantress with their Earthshaker earlier as well. Well, we actually had a chance before we go into the Grand Finals to hear from players who have been in the Grand Finals before at TI to talk about the pressure and what's at stake.
Gentlemen, welcome.
各位好。
How exhausting is a TI? Is this truly a test of your spirit?
I felt like last year my body was like preparing for a war for 2 weeks or something. Yeah. Like all this adrenaline like constantly in my body, and when the finals were over, I realized when I took a shower, like every part of my body hurt actually.
去打决赛的话，就把这当做一个普通比赛，因为不管打什么比赛都想赢嘛，就是想赢下比赛。 就没有想太多其他的。
Go in the game and don't care. Like you just came here to play, so you play fearsomely.
You just play Dota.
就也没有想特别多吧，就觉得我既然都想走到这了，我就想跟你好好的，跟你好好过两招。
I mean, I get the idea of like kind of letting your mind go and just oh, it's just another Dota game or it's just like our scrim, but like, I mean, it's not.
对，当时在威斯打T6嘛，然后打决赛，然后就是观众。 几乎所有人都在喊 Wins 嘛，就有一股能量，就感觉坐在这里打的就感觉身体快要爆炸了，那种能量就要炸出来了一样，就是也是特别爽，然后。
I mean, that's the special thing about TIA. It's like it's the last event, and everyone's gonna go 100%.
印象最深的就是我们迈入在 TS 我们迈入决赛的那一刻，当我们赢完，那个感觉可能是我这一辈子最棒的感觉吧。 可能是这样吧，就感觉好像全中国的人都在支持你一样，就感觉搞得跟我拿了冠军一样，真的那种感觉，真的很爽，你知道吗？就真的很爽，反正。
I can't help but feel when that trophy lift is going on, it's not a life goal completed. It's like relief half the time.
I mean, for me, it's more like a kind of a sad moment that the Dota just stops because you've been to this awesome event for 2 weeks straight and you get to play Dota with your friends and just really enjoyed your time, and then you lift the trophy and it's all over. You're going home.
我的话，这么多总决赛下来，让我觉得应该就是每个队伍的举盾的时候，觉得可能那是我自己内心最触动的时候，觉得那个时候就也为举盾的人开心也。 感觉为自己觉得有点遗憾嘛，或者是之类的。
I've been to 3 TIs and I've gotten third twice, and I think like as painful as the losses were, it was more difficult to watch 2 other teams play in the finals instead of us.
应该 T2 的时候吧，因为 T2 的时候在老王爹，然后整个队伍状态都非常好嘛，一直连胜到
胜得主决赛，然后才开始，然后连着2个 BO3被锤没了，那种感觉就是，然后又看着 IG 夺冠了嘛，就感觉很不甘心嘛，就一直印象很深刻。
I would have loved to win all the TIs.
Of course.
Not for the money, just for like.
Yeah, me too, man. What about you?
No.
None of them?
He wants to lose 1 or 2.
Yeah.
我也想我自己会赢，但是就不管什么东西还是看本事嘛。如果我有那个本事，我能赢的话，那也觉得挺正常的。那如果别人比我们厉害，别人自己有本事输了，也心服口服嘛。
Why has that never been a 2 times TI champion?
I think winning TI takes a certain amount of luck, and it's pretty unlikely that it's going to happen twice. I mean, it's more likely that the best teams are going to, finish towards the top, but the best team doesn't always win.
当杀入决赛了，因为我们只有1个晚上的准备时间嘛，那没什么好说了。那想的肯定是把对面往死里怼啊，然后第2盘就上去了，然后第1把就赢了，被连扳3盘就GG了呀，就只能看着别人捧杯了。其实还是挺遗憾的嘛，那肯定。
Most of Dota players, were competing on something else, sports or like video games or whatever. Without this feeling, you wouldn't win anything, because if you just don't care about the game, about your win, about you being the best, you wouldn't achieve anything.
TI4是一个质变，是就从 TI4这一届突然奖金一下飙升到这么高的。
当时牛逼夺冠以后，我们都说这职业打不下去了。我们打了一辈子职业，还没人1/10奖金多。是的。
TI is like the end of the year, right? This is like the event that we all look forward to. All anybody really wants to do is qualify and compete in this tournament. And so when you get here, it's just, I mean, you're just excited to play.
There we have it. At the end of the day, you're just excited to play. But of course, as PPD mentioned earlier in that video as well, it is the grand finals, and you can't possibly say it's just the same as any other game that you've played before, March.
That's true, but I have never been in the grand finals.
Sure.
I wouldn't know so much about it, but hearing from a lot of the people saying, like, take it as just a normal game, and like for OG, they're playing over their expectations, and if there's any team that can take this as any normal game, maybe that's the OG here.
Yeah, I mean, Winter, let's talk about that part that you mentioned a little bit about there not having been two-time champions yet, right? I mean, obviously right now we're looking at OG and PSG.LGD continuing that trend. Do you agree that it's really, there is a certain amount of luck and timing involved in winning a TI?
Yeah, there's like some luck with the bracket and maybe like the meta as well. You guys are really good at this hero, and suddenly at the tournament, this hero becomes really popular. There's gonna be some form of luck, but still, like, the team has to be stable enough to utilize that bit of luck that's gonna be available in the game.
Yeah, and Sin, looking at the bracket, obviously this time, how do you think that played out? Obviously, a lot of strong teams coming in from Group A, actually dominating to the end of this tournament.
Yeah, it might have actually played a relatively big role in the outcome of this tournament that all of those teams got to play against each other in the group stage. Because if there's so many strong teams, it's very unusual. I believe the top 4 teams in this tournament were the top 4 of Group A in the beginning. So I don't think we've had that happen before. But you think about it, if all these teams are the really strong teams and they get extra practice against each other, playing official games is always better practice than scrims, because scrims you always try to emulate playing 100%, but you can't really do it when there's nothing on the line. But you get all of these extra games in, and you learn new things that the other group doesn't. They can watch your replays, but it's never the same as getting the feeling in the game.
What do you think about OG being able to play against the top 3 teams, EG, LGD, and Liquid, first 3 games in the match in the group stage?
I think that was hugely important for them. I think that's why they learned all the stuff that they needed to get through this entire bracket and, of course, get 4th in their group in the end. They got so much experience, so great replays to look at. So, absolutely.
Yeah, OG taking advantage of kind of that hyper training they were able to have as they entered the international. Well, PSG.LGD versus OG. I mean, gentlemen, let's talk a little bit of our predictions. I'm not asking for like scores or whatnot, but how do you figure this is going to go, Winter? OG, the momentum and the hype has to be on their side.
I mean, as much as I want to be on, X-Norma's side, he is like I think the second only Malaysian to ever reach the grand finals after Chuan. But I feel like because OG, they have been able to sit aside and watch the games, and they are able to, get more information of compared to LGD. They did have some extra time, like maybe 1 hour from now, but I feel like preparation-wise, I would favor definitely OG.
How are you three all so calm about this grand finals coming up? Is it like the players, it's just another Dota game for you guys? I mean, this is OG versus PSG.LGD, March. Do you see this going the full length, 3-2?
I want to see some crazy games where OG pulls out some crazy strategy and want to see flashy moves from Thompson and go BO5 for sure, but like
there's a part of you that thinks it's not going to go that way.
I feel like LG didn't need to show much against EG. It was pretty, like there was nothing too surprising they brought out, and like for OG side they also had to prepare for both sides. They didn't know which team's gonna win, right?
True.
So going to the grand final and this being BO5, I don't think OG has like all 5 strategies prepared for it, and maybe BO3 it will favor OG more because usually the stronger teams wants to play more games, right? So.
That's an interesting point you bring up. I mean, this is all just speculation, but Sin, do you think that OG kind of predicted that PSG.LGD would be their opponent in the grand final?
I think that was hard to predict. They might have considered them the favorites, but they obviously did need to prepare for both teams. They've had some time to do it. As far as this final outcome goes, I want to say that when you look across the winner bracket and when the games were won, I feel like LGD at their best were better. Their wins were more dominant. So OG did go through the upper bracket, but they had two 2-1 wins, and LGD's 2-0s were pretty clean. That the ones that they got against VP and Liquid, they just looked pretty dominant, honestly. Game 1 against VP perhaps could have gone the other way, but LGD just... I'm still favoring them just because I think their peak is higher. Right. And when it comes to OG, it's the element of surprise that they have to play on. So I'm expecting just a lot of creativity from them. But if LGD show up with their absolute best, I do feel like they have an edge.
Yeah, a lot of times it did feel like OG was kind of able to force mistakes out of their opponent by surprise and then take advantage of that momentum, whereas LGD, we discussed earlier, just plays a clean game and they're able to play on their own terms. We'll start talking about some of these players as individuals as they're about to stand on that stage for the grand finals of TI8. Let's start with Thompson, right? The easiest one of all. It's just a very apparent story. This guy did not imagine being on the stage, and now he's playing for the very last match of TI8. I mean, to a certain extent, I think it works to his advantage, Winter, because to him, probably the one who's closest to just playing another Dota game.
Yeah, like he is the guy that doesn't really give a shit about what happens in a game. He just does whatever he feels is good. That could be, I think, you know, sometimes in this like really, really clutch games, you need someone that makes a move that no one else wants to make that move. Because like, if you talk about the veteran players or maybe the more experienced players, they've been through the phase where they lost because they did something bad in the game, so they are a bit worried. Maybe sometimes they don't want to make that risk. But if you look at a newer player, he's the one that, whoa, I'm just gonna do it. I don't care. If we win, we win.
I think N0tail is a really good enabling leader for that kind of style, because N0tail has always been a bit like crazy, and he just wants to, you know, he's like screaming in the booth. He's going crazy. He loves trying new creative stuff, just playing. It's been an Achilles heel for him sometimes too, that he just goes a bit maybe too crazy. But when you have a player like Thompson who you can empower, and N0tail from that support position can try to, both through the draft and just in-game leadership, enable him, he's kind of setting him free, basically.
I mean, adding on to that though, like if you're going crazy as a carry, sometimes it's worse for your team because you are holding a lot of weight on your shoulders. You have a lot of net worth. But when you're doing that as a support and when you die, it's fine, you know, there's a balance there for N0tail.
All right, well, a fantastic combo to have watched so far for sure. Definitely want to take some time to talk about the PSG.LGD players in a little bit. But right now, I mean, this arena, the Rogers Arena, is filled with fans. And Slacks, where are you? You're talking to a couple more, it sounds like.
What's up, dog? I'm still here down on the stage, and I have heard a beautiful story. What's your name?
Jacob.
Emerald.
And who do you guys hope wins, TI?
OG.
OG.
Okay, now that that's over, what's your story, sir? What happened this week?
So I proposed, and she said yes.
Now, you guys came to TI to watch TI, and then you popped the question on...
It didn't happen in the stadium, though, so thank God.
Well, it could have. In fact... All right, hold on. Before we get started, let's get a zoom in on this rock. People, come on! We here for this rock! What a man! Could have happened in the stadium. What do you guys think about recreating it? Huh?
Sure, why not?
Embarrassing Jacob.
Very embarrassing. Let's do it. Go up on that stage. All right, give him the ring. Come on, we're going to redo this. We're redoing it. Now, if you guys are watching this at home, just pretend like they emailed me and I did a really big favor. Okay, I want to look like a nice guy. All right, here we go. I'll just be walking with you so casually. You're just on the main stage at TI, just doing nothing. Bro, that was such a big hot dog. Oh, look at this hot chick over here. Oh, do you know this person?
A little bit.
Whoa, boy, it looks like you want to propose to her. What are you gonna do?
I hope yours went better than this. This is not.
Go ahead, sir.
Emerald Lipke, will you please marry me?
Yes. Whoa. No, not yet. She says yes only if OG wins. They have to win. You're OG fans. You can only get married if OG wins, okay?
No Tail, please, for the love of God.
I'm going to be real with you. She's a catch, and I don't know how this is happening already, No Tail. You've got to win, dude. This is his only chance.
Do it for love.
All right, here we go. Whoa! Hey, give it up! Oh, that was not asked for. Keep that at home, you animals. All right, well, back to you. Love is in the air, and so is death. We want to see some games, boy. Chauffeur, take it home.
My goodness, if I had any doubt before, that is clear to me that I am not inviting Slacks to my wedding, because that is just chaos waiting to happen. But congratulations to you two. Definitely awesome to see love in the air. But we are, as Slack said, we're getting ready for the grand final. So now that we've been able to celebrate the love part, we're getting ready for perhaps a bloodbath between these two teams. Let's talk about PSG.LGD a little bit. We talked about Thompson, obviously tons of more players to talk about. But on the side of PSG.LGD, let's talk about maybe, right? I mean, Puppy's pick for a player that he wants to look for perhaps as a top player in this matchup was maybe. March, what are your thoughts on maybe as a player?
Maybe most stable player in China, one of the best mid laner, obviously, and then he makes team play around him, and then he's the aggressive one and taking the roles into the team fight. And then, yeah, it's great to have a player like that, like moving the team forward.
I mean, if you've been following him a lot, in the past, he's more like a very, very flashy mid player. He likes to play the Tinkers, the Shadow Fiends, but you know, this past 2 years, he's been like moving. He's playing Dragon Knight, he played Viper, he plays Razor, he's playing the team heroes. So he's showing everybody that he's a player that not just can only carry the game and be flashy, but he's also be there to be the team player when they need him to be.
Yeah, adapting a little bit and being able to carry that.
At his best when he plays the more aggressive mids. I think some of his weaker performances were on Huskar and Alchemist, and I just want to see him on those more spellcaster-heavy Storm and Linas. I think those are his absolute best.
Well, I mean, again, it's a best of 5, so anything can happen, right? We're going to see that adaptation as the match goes on. Right now, Casey, you're out there somewhere as well with some more fans, it sounds like.
Yes, we are. We are with some very excited fans.
Hello.
That's all you got? You were like, put me on camera. Hello.
EG lost. I'm very sad.
Are you?
Yeah.
Did you cry?
No tears. No tears. Yeah.
It's okay if you do. It's very emotional. Who are you rooting for now?
LGD. I love the Chinese fans. They're so hype. Yeah.
Hey, that's great. What about you?
China!
How many people think this is going to go to 5? I asked that a few games ago. Now how are we feeling? You think it's going to be 3-2?
Yeah, OG 3-2.
OG 3-2. How many people think it's going to be OG 3-2? Okay, now LGD 3-2. Remember, we are all friends after this ends, no matter what, okay? We all love Dota. Let's give a big round of applause. Come on, for both teams. Come on, it's going to be some good Dota. Back to you, Chopra.
Thank you, Casey. Indeed, I mean, we're all just waiting to watch perhaps what's going to be the best match of the year between these two teams, PSG, LGD, and OG. March, are there any other players you want to kind of pinpoint before we move on here? We talked about Thompson and maybe as a spotlight, but obviously all 10 players spectacular.
Being on the offlaner myself, I want to take a look at Chalice and Seb, especially Chalice, where like I have seen him give in a hard lane, but he just plays that lane. I have seen him play Tiny against Necrophos or some hard lanes, and then the item builds he chooses, especially the series against the LGD, the upgraded earn first item, on Race King and stuff like that. Those are the smart item choices. Yeah, that's what I want to.
I mean, he even did that on the Enchantress game.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to point out as well.
Yeah, so a little bit of favor for what obviously you're looking for, but I mean, Chalice, of course, has had some great games. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting ready for the grand finals here at TI8, but it's a time to take a look back at how we get to the TI finals.
I think for any team that is in the finals, that's just 100% focus. You know that you're the two best teams in the world. Either of you could win. It's a very weird feeling. It feels like you need to win this with all your soul and body and mind. You know, like everything that you've achieved in Dota and that you've done in Dota has built up until this moment.
Some people maybe feel pressured. Crowd was always very friendly to us. The crowd would help us a lot. Big scene is good for us, but for someone else, I don't know, it's different.
50,000, 500,000, 2 million people are watching, like, okay, that's great. It's a lot of pressure. Playing with thousands of spectators watching you, you're more prone to make mistakes because you're thinking about it more. Just keep your cool and not let any distractions such as the crowd or, you know, the pressure get to you. Guarantee you someone else on the other team will let it get to them, so if you're able to keep your cool, you're probably going to win.
Dota is a sick mental game. It brings out the best and worst in you. Who ended up winning the mental warfare always won the series. That's how you're going to win tournaments. That's how you win the tournament. And if you break the other mind, it gets really easy. Some minds are really hard to beat though.
Well, at TI5, I had no anxiety. Like, I was totally comfortable in my own skin, and I think that I played really well, and everything was great. But then I go to the Summit 4, you know, it's a $100,000 tournament versus this $18 million tournament. I'm sitting there in the finals, down 0-2 against VP, and I'm just like having trouble breathing. It's weird like that, and you don't know when anxiety is going to hit you. If you're freaking out, you know, somebody else is probably freaking out too.
Just a screw up in the game, you made a mistake in the game, and that's why you lost. Those things can happen, but those things should not eat you. Sadly, a lot of people end up thinking about their loss a lot because they could have done better.
To lose in finals, just one step before winning, it's hit you much harder.
输了以后，第一个感觉就是我很对不起所有的粉丝，因为他们一直以来都很支持我，尤其是在场所有的观众也是在呼喊着我的名字，所以我觉得很对不起他们。然后过后。我很伤心，然后我就出去，躲在厕所啊，出去啊，一直流眼泪，就很久，才能平复下我的心情。
It doesn't matter if we lose or not. Just those words reminds us of what we've done and that we don't need to be afraid of losing. It sounds like. Maybe not a winning mentality, but I think it's the opposite. You remove the fear of losing, so you would not be afraid to do risks, which can be very necessary in these games.
I hadn't won a lot in my career up until, you know, pre-TI4, but then after we started winning, it was a different kind of scene for me. You got more fans, you got more prestige. Everything changes when you start winning.
Things just worked out for us, and TI5 was our tournament to win. That was one of 2 tournaments we won throughout that entire year, and it was the big one.
觉得自己这是真的吗？就是我当时拿完冠军，第一时间就问自己这是真的吗？也没有一些很高兴的一些反应，然后觉得后面确定自己不是在做梦，然后就非常的兴奋吧。
就是如果我会给一个没有打过 TI 决赛的人的意见的话，就是当你打 TI 决赛的时候，就那几个小时，希望可以好好的珍惜，因为 时间过得很快，一下子就会过去，然后你会很后悔当时没有好好的享受。
The strongest players doesn't win, it's the strongest team that wins. And it's almost always like that. If you don't perform every second of your games, you might lose to a team that's actually not better than you, but they're just hungrier.
I don't think any Dota player will go into these games and crumble under pressure. This is when you get your strongest. This is when it's going to be the hardest to break you. I strongly believe that if I woke up a morning and I had to play the TI final, I would play the best Dota of my life. And that's all that would matter to me. If I played my very best, nothing else would matter.
The International Grand Finals. Perhaps it's the stage that makes the best players that we're about to see. PSG.LGD versus OG. No-Tail talking about how if he had to play a TI Finals, probably would play his best, and that's all that would matter. Well, it's now come true, Sin, and it's time to test that. What do you expect to see from No-Tail and OG?
I think they're just going to be fearless. That's what I was saying before. I think they are already super happy to be here. They were not expecting it. I believe this clip of No-Tail is, I'm not sure when this was from. It's a couple of years old, I believe. So finally, this is obviously something he has dreamed of. I don't think this was the team that he was expecting it to happen with on so short notice. So it's like kind of a dream come true. And in those moments, he's going to play his heart out. And we've seen some of No-Tail's best performances. It's amazing to see this transformation he's gone through so quickly on his support role. He's just... I'm sure he's going to deliver today.
Yeah, I mean, No-Tail definitely has had several instances where he's talked about a TI Finals, right? My only goal is to get to a TI Finals. If I had a chance to play in a TI Finals, I would play my best. And here he is as a leader of a team, and as you mentioned, Sin, a relatively new team. Winter, he has to be so proud and also just so excited for himself as well.
Yeah, he's like, I think, in his team, the hungriest one to win. Every time I see him walk out of the booth and the way he hugs and the way he yells, I think he wants to win so much more than the rest of his team. I mean, not to say that they don't really want to win, but he's the driving force of the team, he's the leader, and he leads by a really, really good example.
Yeah, March, No-Tail as a leader, I mean, do you think that he's one of the core reasons why this team is able to work?
I've been talking to him before. He's been always the smartest guy, one of the smartest guys. Even when he was playing core with new item builds, new heroes he comes out with, and then sometimes he lacked in like the performance when he was playing the carry. But when he can just be in the backseat, where he can just tell people, give him always good ideas, and let everyone play at their best, he's one of the greatest leaders.
I mean, this is why we always mention players with ideas. The captains should always be the support players, because in the core role, you have to focus on the game a lot. You have to look at the map, you have to farm. There's a lot of things going through your mind, and you want someone else to bear that burden.
I think this was this point from March is really good about his item builds as a carry, because I think that goes to show that regardless of which role No-Tail plays in, he's not afraid of doing something that others don't. Sometimes his item builds in the past have worked out great. Sometimes he's looked really silly doing something that just completely backfires. But he's confident and convinced that what he's doing is the right thing. And win or lose, he just follows through with it, and then he learns from his experiences. That kind of fearlessness is the kind of thing that can take you the whole way. And they're here.
Yeah.